Parks and Recreation Committee meeting. We have some new faces with us this morning. So I'll introduce myself. My name is Rosemary Perez Jaquith, and I'm a town council person, and we're very happy to have you. Before we get started, we have a couple of housekeeping things to take care of. I'm going to ask Lori Peretti to take roll first, and then we'll approve the minutes.
You got it.
Thank you.
Elena Finnan, Linda O'Brien, Brian Backus, Ismat Alam, Jean McKay, Julie Lohr, Laura Robertson, Jean Fody, Paul Briggs, Peter Ravicka, Ray Smith, Councilwoman Jaquith, Stan Faminsky,
Here.
Yakov Polishuk, and Supervisor Syed.
Here.
Did I miss anyone? And Josh Hawley just joined.
Great. Thank you so much, Lori. So the minutes went out. Can I have a motion to approve those minutes from our March meeting?
Motion to approve the minutes.
Thank you, Yasmin. Can I have a second?
I second it.
Wonderful. Thank you, Ismat. Any objections? All right. The minutes are approved. We are going to move on to our public comment section. So I think that is why Jean and Yakov are with us. Why don't we start with Jean? Good morning.
My name's actually not Jean, but I'm showing up as Jean. Supervisor. We don't use Gmail organizations. We have one Gmail account, so that's why I'm showing up as Jean.
And so what is your name, just so we have it down for your attendance?
My name's Ashley Quimby Simone.
Okay.
And the Erie Canalway. So just to introduce a little bit about our organization and who we are, we're the National Park Service affiliate for the Erie Canalway. So as most of you know, the Canalway is run by the state. It's operated by the state, but our organization gets grant money and has an affiliation with the National Park Service. So we operate through them to help preserve the history, heritage of the Erie Canalway, and also run a variety of different programs to help people recreate on the Canalway. So I'd like to thank Julie, first of all, for inviting me today, because one of the programs that I'm going to talk about is the Canalway Challenge. And the Canalway Challenge essentially has the goal of inviting people to walk, run, bike, or paddle on the Erie Canalway, walk miles, and then get recognition for those miles. The program is completely free and open to anybody who wants to join. And after you complete your Canalway Challenge goal, you'll receive a sticker, a magnet, a certificate of recognition. And this year we're offering patches that have the Canalway Challenge finisher logo on them. So after today's meeting, I can share some of our graphics with Julie so that everyone can kind of see what they look like and things like that. But the reason that I reached out was because what we'd like to do is hang some banners to promote the Canalway Challenge in Lions Park and Flatnick Park, if possible. So those two parks are obviously provide huge foot traffic, and tons of people go there to get access to the water and to the Canalway Trail. I personally go there myself quite often to log my Canalway Challenge miles. And so I think that there's a lot of people that go to those two parks that don't necessarily know about the program, but it might encourage them to come back and use those parks and to cycle, walk, paddle along the canal. So the banners are 3 feet by 6 feet. They're vinyl banners, and they have like eyelet washers. We usually zip tie them to like fences or hang them on places where there's a lot of foot traffic. So that's why Lions Park and Flatnick Park came to mind for us first, because they're really high traffic area here in the Capital Region. And I think that the Canalway Challenge is a little bit underrepresented in the Capital Region as well.
So Ashley, I get the Lions Park is right there along the water. Flatnick is not, but you're looking at that just because it's a high traffic area.
Yep, and it provides access to the trail.
Okay. How many were you looking to put up?
One at each park if possible. But I know that like sometimes space is limited, especially at Lions Park where there's not a lot of places to hang things. So I would definitely take your guidance or whatever you think would be best for hanging the banners in terms of location. So yeah, just the one at each park.
3 by 6.
3 by 6. Yep.
From when to when would this be up?
So I mean, we can kind of work with you guys on when that would be. The Canalway doesn't open until the end of May, but obviously people are still already going there to walk and cycle and stuff on the canal, especially with the weather being nice and spring coming so early this year. So we'd really like to do it if we can at the end of this month through October, through the end of October, when the canal season then ends.
So I'll sort of open it up to committee members. If, do you have any questions or see any issues? Or Ray, do you have any input here?
No, I do not. We can find a place, maybe put a couple slats on a fence so that it can be more secure and not blow around. In the area of Flatnick by the bike path, which is down by the Babe Ruth fields, where people walk down the path to gain entry to go down the hill by the river. Same thing at train station. We can find an area that is visible but won't impact the art gallery or anything like that. And also, Ashley, if you have a third one, we have a kiosk at Lock 7 Road. You could probably put it on the back side of the kiosk, very visible from the path. That's another parking area that people use a lot. So
yeah,
if you
that'd
want
be
to
great.
put a third one in that area, that'll be good as well.
That would be great. Thank you.
Anyone else? All right. So Ashley, Julie can connect you with Ray. Give him, supply his email so that you can coordinate putting those signs up and encouraging people to get out there. Sounds great.
Great. Thank you all so much. And thank you for having me.
Thanks, Ashley. You're welcome to stay or you're welcome to drop off. Don't feel like you have to stay, but you're welcome.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Next, we're going to hear from Yakov. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you very much for inviting me to this meeting. Hi, my name is Yakov Polishuk. I'm a resident of Niskanen. I've been living here for about 13 years. I lived on Dean Street for quite some time, and there was a beautiful little park on the Craig Elementary School that we used to walk with our kids. And I recently moved to the Orchard Park neighborhood, and I found that there is not a park around here that is easily walkable to. So that's what I wanted to talk about. Orchard Park neighborhood ends up being a little bit of an island, which is kind of bounded by Balltown Road, River Road, Van Antwerp, and Knott Street, which are really hard to cross, especially for small kids. I have an 8-year-old, a 6-year-old, and a 4-year-old. The closest playground is the Craig Elementary School, but crossing river is just it's an experience. Yesterday we spent about 3 minutes, or maybe closer to 5 minutes, just waiting for traffic to die down, because it's at the bottom of a valley. Cars tend to speed up as they get to that crossing. But there's a really nice little green space, about 2 acres worth, that is on the corner of Jade and Morrow Street, and then on the other side it's Fox Hill Drive. And it's a really beautiful space, and it's wonderful, but I feel like it's got a lot of potential to become more than just a green space that people occasionally use. It's not extremely well used. Definitely not like the Hillside Elementary playground, where you'd find 10 different families at the same time on a beautiful day playing around with their kids. So I was wondering if there's a possibility of installing a small playground in that area, or a dog park, or something that could be used by the residents of this area, where they could easily walk to it, and be able to meet up with other people, and just increase the walkability and connectivity of this neighborhood, and give and there's a lot of kids in this area too, a lot of different kids, different ages, a lot of very young kids, older kids as well. So yeah, that's kind of the synopsis.
Ray, do you know the space that Yakov is speaking of?
Yes, I do, Rosemary. It's a small area that we own, like you said, approximately about 2 acres of green space. Town does own it. I think he has a good idea there. It's never really, other than mowing it and picking up branches over there, it's really not utilized. I think people use it more for a cut through to walk the road. So, you know, given that the board was in support of that, I would say we could look at some improvements there.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not familiar with the area. I will go take a look myself. Yakov, do you have, I imagine you have some support, some, you know, or this sort of your idea alone, or the other neighbors been talking about this at all? Just trying to get a gauge for how far along this, you know, this thought is.
So I started thinking about this about 1.5 years ago, and I talked to various people that I know in the area, probably about 10 different families. When I see people with kids, I kind of flag them down and ask them what they feel about this. And the things that came out of my conversations was a small playground, some kind of a dog park, because there's a lot of people with dogs who walk around here, and then they end up crossing the road to the rail trail. Some benches and a table would be great. But yeah, I talked about 10 different families. I haven't gotten any negative pushback, but I haven't really specifically canvassed the neighborhood either.
Okay. So let us think about what we could do, look at our budget in terms of what we can, you know, we might be able to do. And we have your contact information. You know, we'll get back to you as things start to develop. We'll see what we can do there. Okay.
Okay. When might I be able to expect to hear back from you guys?
I don't know.
Okay.
So Ray Smith is the superintendent of highways, and he's in charge of the parks, et cetera. He's the one that spoke to, he knows the area we're talking about. He's responsible for caring for it. He's the one that thinks you have a great idea. So I guess we sort of need to talk further about that, and again, look at what we might be able to do in terms of what our budget permits.
Okay.
So,
Is there anything else I can do to help this process along?
we have your contact information, so if there is, I'll be back in touch. I'll be back in touch one way or another, but as things sort of progress, for sure, we'll be back in touch, and we'll let you know.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Does anyone else have any questions or?
Really quickly, hi, Yakov. Thank you for joining us this morning. I'm Supervisor Syed. One thing I would encourage you to do is, if you can, and it's somewhat of a laborious process, but typically when you want to gain total buy-in from your neighborhood, you're going to want to circulate a petition. I know the area that you're speaking of, and parts of it are in certain residents' backyards. So you're going to want to make sure that they have buy-in on that, you know, if a potential future park / dog park. So that's one thing that you could do. And if the town sees that, yes, there is broad support, that helps us in making the decision and determining what we would like to do with that space.
When you say broad support, what constitutes broad support?
A majority. of the residents. So that would be
Majority of the residents of that
of that area.
triangle that I talked about, or
Correct.
just the neighbors touching the park.
Especially the neighbors touching the park, those most prominently, and then also neighbors in the surrounding areas as well.
Okay.
And while you guys were talking, Laura Robertson, who's also on the call, but I think is driving right now, just messaged me that Yakov, she had spoke to you about maybe doing a special parks district there. Is that right?
Yeah, that idea was discussed. I don't know what's the best thing to do.
Yeah. So let us try to flesh that out. I just want to bring it out because again, Laura said she'd maybe spoken to you about that. So we'll sort of try and flesh that out a little bit and engage in further conversations. But supervisor's correct. Of course, that's why I asked the question about neighbors, where the support was, et cetera. But she's right, especially the ones touching the space, they're going to be the most affected. So be good to know that you have their support. But yeah, just helpful to know where folks are.
This is Linda O'Brien. I just wanted to, I'm a neighbor. I live here in the neighborhood. And just a couple of things that come to mind is I would be clear when you walk around and talk to people or put a petition together about, are you looking for a dog park or are you looking for something for kids? Because if it's walkability and that's your issue, and then it's specifically for kids, that's a little less, I would think a little less concerning and a little easier to do. When you're talking about a dog park, that brings in a lot of issues. And one of them is parking and traffic, car traffic, because it isn't a quiet neighborhood area. So that's going to change some things for folks. And the dog parks, we have one, which, right now we do have a lot of dogs, especially with the pandemic. But that's one of the things that's really nice about this neighborhood is that people are out and walking. And so a dog park is just a different type of, I don't know, it just brings in some issues. And it's more of like this formal space that has to be carved out. And then you do have to address parking and rules and fencing and so on and so forth. So I would just be clear about what the vision is or what it is you want to see or propose down there when you talk to the neighbors and the residents.
Yeah, that's a good point, Linda.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right, thank you, Yakov.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your time, and I guess I'll look forward to hearing from you guys.
All right,
Bye.
Take care. Have a great day. Thanks for joining us. Okay, we're going to get to the rest of the agenda, starting off with the highway and parks items. Ray Smith.
Okay, good morning. Item number one, our standard water break, one water related repair. I've attached the bill to the agenda. Number two, highway crews are currently working on plow damage, touching up lawns, seeding, trees, ever-going resident request list generated on a daily basis. I will take this opportunity. 1563 Dean Street is a fence easement. I've been working with Josh Hawley on this to come up with a solution for this. This will be a standard easement agreement, and I see no conflicts with this. So, working with Josh, I think we can move forward with this. We brought it up.
What does that mean, Ray? Educate.
So they want to put a fence up where we currently have an easement, and so normally the attorneys will draw up an agreement between the town that we still have access to this, and so Paul Briggs normally does that.
Okay.
But we always review any proposals that they put forward. They get a permit in that. So I've been working with Josh, reviewed it. We have no conflicts there. So we can move forward with that. We just didn't want them to have to wait another month to go through another committee meeting to address this. So
Gotcha.
okay, two more things I will throw on here. I got a request from residents. Toriano would like off of Ferris Road with like a dead end. They said they're seeing a lot of traffic thinking it's a cut through. It's a small little cul-de-sac. And then Castine, right off of in Antwerp, second right in from Balltown. Also a short dead end. People think it's a cut through. I'm thinking that they're just informational signs. Paul can probably answer this if we need to go through town board or these can just be put up.
Those can just be put up, Ray.
Okay, thank you, Paul. Also, Yasmin, I spoke with the county the other day, and the county triangles and the Grand Boulevard agreement, you'll need to get that over to them. Probably should go on the town board meeting for this month.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay?
Is it same agreement as last year?
Yep.
Okay, good.
Okay, so number 3 is quotes. This is for, our yearly seed fertilizer, mulch products. Also, there is spreading and product fertilizer for town facilities. We do this every year. We try not to use it, but we like to have this bit on hand in case fields are really getting beat down and they need attention. We've had this investment in these fields good many years, and we don't want to lose all that we've had invested in them. Standard Flatnick pond treatment. He puts a type of algicide in there to help keep the weeds down along with the aerator. Contracts for mowing of Dean Street Park and mowing of Baker Avenue Park are included. This was the last year of the rollover bid. The prices will stay the same as last year. And we also have mowing contracts for various holding ponds throughout the town. One contract was due to expire this year. I talked to Paul Briggs. They were willing to hold the prices at the same price as last year. And then we had 3 other ponds that were up to be renegotiated next year. So we're going to do them all at once next year. So we just need to accept these through the town board as services for the town. Number 4, personnel update. The 2 hirees that we hired in February, both have started and are working out well. 3 recent retirees last month, at the end of last month. We will be doing some interviews, and we will space these out throughout a few months to try to get some savings. We will, do temporary upgrades here to accommodate the vacancies that we have to keep things moving along. And as we interview and get replacements for these people, people will move up the ladder, and of course the new hirees will all be at the grounds worker level, so there's a bit of a savings there. Number 7, yard waste. We posted the dates in Gazette on 3/26 and 3/27 in the Journal. It's also posted on our website. Trucks started picking up randomly Monday of this week. So we currently have 3 trucks out trying to pick up the volume from the spring cleanup. As you can see, there's a ton of stuff out there. So they're moving along, slow but sure. And We did forfeit the labor ready money for this year for the 4% challenge. So we are currently doing everything in-house with our own staff. So just an update on that. Number 8.
Ray, can
Yeah.
I interrupt? I just wanted to let everyone know that I did send you the final
Opt-out.
report for the opt-outs. And at this point, the opt-outs are over. I sent you the final list, and now at this point, everybody pays or it rolls over to their tax bill next January. They either pay by September 15th or it rolls over to the tax bill.
I didn't count them all, but do you know what the final number was?
The final number is 1,000, I think 140 something. I can give you a just one.
Curious, is that in lines with years past, or did we get a little more?
It's up there.
Okay.
It's more. So right now we're at 1,143 people opted out.
Okay, thank you. So, but we'll find again that people will opt into this coming up. I mean, we get that every year.
Yes. Sometimes they realize, oh, we want the service, and they want to pay and get back into it. But sometimes
Can I
goes
ask a
back
quick-
and forth a little bit.
Thank you for all your work on that, Michelle. I know it's a lot of work to go through and generate the list and all that. So thank
Oh,
you.
you're welcome.
Can I ask a quick question? So this is 1,143 opt-outs, Michelle,
Correct. Yes.
out of,
Oh, I sent 7,000 plus bills out.
can you share that list with me later, please? For budgeting reasons?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ray.
Thank you, Michelle. Appreciate all your work on that, you and your staff. Number 8, projects. We're working down at the old water and sewer site. Because of that, it becomes a park project now. We have materials in stock, but it's, highway materials. So I was looking for just a transfer of money to cover the expenses of fabric and stone. We're making up the bulk of this project with millings that I've saved over the years. So it's a huge cost savings to put a sub base in for millings. So the 5,000 will cover the fabric and the coating of stone on the top, just to keep it fresh and compactable. So to be a nice parking lot when it's done. We have all this stuff in stock, so it's not going to slow the project down waiting for a decision on this. We're going to move forward with it. It's just a way to properly charge things to the right fund. Number B, as far as projects, this is just a proposal. I'd like to pave the area going into that park, which would be the old entrance into the back of Flatnick Park. We would extend, currently the parking along the edge of the road is shorter than it should be. The back of cars are right up in traffic as they're pulling out. They got their hatches open, kids running around the back of the car. We'd like to extend it by another 5 feet over towards the splash pad, improve the handicap parking, pave it, and pave the entranceway coming in. Doing all the legwork and some patching to prep it in-house. We can have the contractor come in and pave that for approximately $20,000. So it's just a proposal from me. I think it makes sense. I've talked to Isman about funds for this. We'll probably have to come out of fund balance. but that's up for you to decide. I think it's a starting point for now. You know, for future, you can build off of this for upgrading the transfer station or any of that, the parking lot that we're building. So this would be a start, and it would improve, definitely be a benefit to the people that go there. That park is getting a ton of use, and that entranceway is just in bad shape.
Yeah, so I want to jump in here a second. So Ray did talk to Ismet. I also followed up with Ismet on this. Obviously, last year, you know, we cut our budget significantly. You know, Ray, I think we took about $100,000 just out of paving. So there's no extra money there. I want to commend Ray, though, in terms of, you know, doing this. There's not much parking over there at all. There is getting a lot of use. And just the materials that he's set aside and the labor that he's going to put in, there's no way anyone else could do this for the amount that he's proposing. But again, as he's saying, it's a proposal. You know, we all understand our budget's really tight. He has the materials, but they're technically highway materials, as he said. So that would have to be accounted for, you know, just in terms of following the rules, because now this is a parks project. But you know, if we can find the money, and I know Ismet is, you know, undersees the value to the town, and we'll see what we can do. But again, I just wanted to say, Ray, for $25,000, no one could do this for $25,000. What you're proposing. So if we get it done, great. If not, we'll do what we can. You know, we have those materials. Maybe we just do the stone this year. Et cetera. We'll see what our comptroller says in terms of what we're able to do and what the proposal is. But just wanted to say thanks to Ray. Again, no one else could do this for what's being proposed.
Can I just jump in, Rosemary? Thank you, Ray and Rosemary. It sounds like a great project. Absolutely. I think it will be, you will have to present it to the town board for their acceptance. Again, you know, it's very low cost. I know Ray started with 45,000 total, and he has shaved it down to the 25,000. But what's the name of the park, of the entrance of the park? What's the name of the park?
Flatnick Park.
And Ismet, it's on the side that is, so there's a couple of entrances there. It's the side right that it's right next to the splash pad.
Got it. Okay.
And where the old water and sewer, you know, the wastewater dumping station was. And then you follow back in there. There's the tennis courts, the dog park, the lacrosse box. And again, there's very, very limited parking. So it's a big space. It would provide for, you know, incredible amount of parking. But absolutely, we'll bring it forward and see what the town board wants to do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, number 9, Flatnick Park sign. This would be the sign that is tucked in behind the front parking lot on the Babe Ruth side. This was an original sign dedicated to Jeff Flatnick when he won the Olympics, naming the park. It's an old wooden sign, unrepairable at this point. There's parts missing. It's just deteriorated beyond repair. So I know some people have asked. I know Laura's been an advocate of this for a while. Do we want to look at trying to get, I know we got some old pictures of it, but do we want to modernize it and, you know, get something of a material that is that is weather resistant? So do we want to go with a steel sign, try to duplicate it, maybe a carbon fiber sign or something of quality, but to replace what was originally dedicated to him and his accomplishments?
Yeah, and it's attached to the packet. I think it's the last page. There's a copy, you know, picture of what the sign, you know, originally looked like. I like the idea of trying to make it look like, you know, the original sign. And in terms of, materials, I guess I'd be driven by price, of course, what's the most cost effective, but that's my 2 cents on it. And he's right. I remember Laura talking about this last year. We had a meeting where this was discussed and we talked about the old. So I don't know if anybody else wants to provide some input on this.
We can shop around and have a few sign shops look at it and give us proposals for a duplicate out of something that would be weather resistant.
Yeah, I think Laura was just trying to chime in there. Hold on a second. Laura, are you still with us?
Yeah, the tree council was willing to, help in any volunteer way, like repainting or painting or bringing materials or landscaping. They're really happy to help and landscape around it. Do anybody needs?
Okay, so we have some help with prettying it up after it's up. That'd be great. That'd be great, Laura. But what do you guys think in terms of making it look the way it did originally versus something brand new? Okay, well, Ray, as you suggested, why don't you get some pricing and we'll go from there. Thanks for looking into this.
Okay. I can have them make up some concepts and give it to you, and that way, we can move forward or whatever, some different ideas, whatever.
Sounds great. Sounds great. Thanks, Ray.
Number 10, Avon Crest, vandalism, graffiti has been a ongoing thing over there. The parks crews went over and primed the whole building, so it's white now when you go over there. I know Charlie has a camera over there at times. Seems like the graffiti's on the back side of it. The camera is under the pavilion. So really not much data on who's doing it or when they're doing it. But if you want to, I know, Rosemary, you had mentioned maybe some motion lights or whatever. Maybe even making PD aware. Maybe they can do a little more patrolling over there. I don't know. They can duck out of sight. They see a car headlight coming in. They can duck out of sight pretty quick over there. So I don't know what can be done, but if anybody wants to come up with any ideas to try to stop that.
Yeah, I had suggested the motion lights again. I don't know. It does seem to be a recurrent problem in that park, I guess, because of the location. It's kind of hidden away, but something we get a lot of calls and a lot of complaints about graffiti. And it's terrible. We keep using resources to clean it up. Ray's guys are always over there, but maybe some motion lights, Ray, and yes, let's bring it to the attention of the police department so they can continue their drive-throughs. Okay, thanks.
Okay, number 11, town hall repairs. Porch area, stairs going out the front part of the building. There's a few sidewalks around that have deteriorated pretty bad. The surface is crumbling on them. Over by the entrance to the police department, the 2 block walls over by the police department, by the Sally Port. I know in a few years back when we talked about this, I think when the walls had to come down by the police department, I think it needed fencing, maybe even just a PVC or vinyl fence, so that when they utilize the Sally Port, if somebody was to get out, that it kind of blocks them in there. So I don't think we can just take the walls down and leave it open. I think the walls are there to serve a purpose. So that, it all comes down to money on all of these things. I looked at the stairs again the other day. I think that's more than a patch job. I think that's a structural thing. I know it's been brought up in public or our safety committee for many years, and I think it all boils down to money and commitment to fixing this. I think the stairs have to be done by a contractor. Yeah, I think the integrity needs to be put in there. Whether our department needs to help facilitate to lessen the money, I think it really is important that this stuff gets done. A typical budget doesn't support this type of work. Again, you know, you build it, you got to maintain it. So,
Right, Ray, there is no, I spoke to our comptroller about this as well. There is no line item for, you know, maintenance of town hall, which seems incredible, but that's the fact of it. We don't have a line item to address these issues. So I did bring that to the attention of our comptroller. Go ahead.
So one thing I will say, from the money standpoint, there needs to be some type of commitment, because what has happened is over the years, when we try to get a contractor to come in and give us a price, you know, we've had multiple prices. People don't want to come give us prices because we don't follow through. They never get the job. You're wasting their time. So there needs to be some type of commitment before I drag people out and get prices again and it goes nowhere. I want to guess we've been dealing with that front porch for more than at least 6, 7, 8 years. I could be even shy on that. So we do need to either say, you know, we can do this amount now, but there needs to be some commitment before I get people out there.
Ray, it might be helpful to share even your old, you know, the old pricing that we got and and maybe prioritize, you know, just so you know, the comptroller and the town board has an idea of, you know, the universe of what we're talking about.
All right,
So
I'll see what we have.
And I'm going to stop you for a second. Sorry to interrupt, but Elena's got to get to court. She's got a couple of items that she needs to report on. So I just want to, if you don't mind, I want to hand the comm over to her so she can speak, and then she's got to get going.
Okay.
Elena?
Thank you, Rosemary. I appreciate that. We have a couple of the license agreements on the agenda. I believe the only one that there will be any movement on is Firestorm. We've basically negotiated the agreement with them. At this point, we're just fine tuning a couple of things. One thing being the placement of the porta potties, and they just need to get us basically their point of contact as to who we will be in contact with, because there's been a couple of them, so that we can add that and have that for future references. And the comptroller's office did review it as well and made a request for an adjustment. That's not a problem. So we'll have that ready to go for this meeting. And soccer club I know is still on there, but I don't believe that there's any adjustments at this point to any agreement that would be forthcoming with respect to this coming April meeting.
No, that's correct. And as far as the Firestorm, Elena, I know you reached out to the comptroller's office. So that is an additional total of $9,000 in revenue that we weren't necessarily counting on. So that's great, and even better, right, that we're getting more kids on the fields, so which is fabulous. However, there's got to be a modification there because they're doing 2 seasons and they propose to split up the fee. And I believe the comptroller's office wants us to revise that because it says a total of $9,000, and what they're proposing is to pay 6 and 3, right? So that modification needs to take place, and we can bring that to the board this month, correct, Elena?
Correct. Yep.
Okay. All right. I just wanted to clarify that on the record. All right. Thanks, Elena, and good luck today in court.
Thanks. I appreciate it. Have a good day.
Thanks, you as well. All right, Ray, sorry, we're finishing up with town hall facilities. I think, you know, again, the plan to sort of, unless you had something else to say about that, I think giving the comptroller and the town board a universe and a priority list at least, so that we could say, okay, these look like what the repairs were in whatever year was. Maybe we can allocate 10,000 or what, or, you know, not, I don't know, but at least just give us a universe to look at, and then we can say, okay, you know, we'll try and do X project or Y project, etc. But did you have anything else to add on that? Sorry.
No, I'll see what we have in the file, and
Okay.
just to get an idea for you. I'm sure it'll be a lot more by now, but.
Yeah, no, I understand. That's right. We can't keep asking people to come out and do estimates and then not follow through. I get it. If that's what the vendors are saying to you, then I get it. There's a lot of work to be done and people don't want to waste their time.
Right. Number 12 is the Schenectady County grant projects. The highway crews installed the netting for the River Road baseball. That was one project in the grant. And also the bleachers are being assembled on 4 weather days and being put out in various parks around the town. So I spoke with the county on this. I'm getting the POs and a copy of the checks together. I have to draft up a letter to the county, and the county will come out and inspect the projects and reimburse us for the ones that are moving forward. Also on this, I spoke with Matt Yetto. One of the projects is for improvements for football. Them improvements would include a grinder pump to put bathrooms in their existing building. Matt Yetto was involved in this from the beginning originally, many years ago, and he recently had a grinder pump, I believe, put in the Flatnick Park bathrooms. So he thought that the guy was going to hold the price. So he's going to work on a price for me for the grinder pump to try to move forward with that project as well.
And Ray, you're providing the labor, right? And
Yep.
and the county is providing the funds for the
equipment, essentially. That's what happened with the back, that they paid for the netting and the poles. You know, we kind of paid for the concrete and all that stuff for the last project. So, but they're done. So any bit of money we got, I think the amount for the total grant will be a vast improvement for our parks and for our residents.
Thank you.
Number 13, NCAP signs. NCAP was gracious enough to have drug awareness signs made up last year. By the time they came, it was winter time. I know they had some areas in which they wanted to put them. So I don't know if you want to reach out to her and maybe set up something. We can do a walk around, or she can do me a punch list. As we have time, we'll start putting them up before the parks start getting busy, so that they can be utilized.
Okay, I'll reach out to Jean Sassnow, who was the one who joined in the meeting. She's the president of NCAP, about setting something up. I'll send an email that includes you. Thanks, Ray.
Okay, I'm out.
All right, thanks. Laura, you still with us?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you're driving, so I'll tell you the next items were, tree council and complete streets, just updates on that.
Okay, sorry. So did you do resolutions for April? You did that?
Well, it's sort of, it's a line item. Sounds like, Ray went about it as he went along in terms of what those might be, the accepting the quotes. And I think that be it. But Ray, if there are anything else besides accepting the quotes in terms of resolutions, maybe potentially the grant, I guess, depending on how quickly you get that done.
The grants don't need to be reso, though there just be reimbursements back. So we have them things, and I have a list of probably summer kids. I have a few applications now. So I think so I can spread them out. I'll put in what I have now, and then we can do another batch later on, and possibly a seasonal senior worker like we had last year, a temporary worker. So I don't know if I'll have a full-timer for you. I gotta do some more interviews. So, but them few things, but I'll get them to Elena as I get them.
Okay, so those two, the quotes for accepting the bids, and then the summer seasonal help. That's it?
Yep.
All right, thanks.
Ask a question about the grants?
Yep.
Which grants are we talking about right now? And have you identified?
The Schenectady
Okay.
County ones.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
So we have to ask for reimbursement with a letter of reimbursement. Plus the projects have to be completed, and we got to have the original purchase order and the check that we paid. So I'm compiling that now, and I got to do the letter, and he'll come out and look at the couple projects that we've completed this far.
Got it. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Laura.
Okay, sorry. So for tree council, I know we talked about it last time, but Arbor Day, April 24th, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Seedlings, we're picking up the seedlings on April 23rd. We have 2 sassafras trees that we want to plant at the senior center. And so they arrived in Northern. I don't know if we want to move them to Highway or we want to leave them there until it gets closer to April 23rd. I'm hoping that we could actually plant them on April 23rd. So I don't know if maybe like sometime in the next couple weeks we could just pick out our spots with you and Lori or whoever on the senior center.
So we'll get, if we have a day, Laura, where we get a rain day or something, and I get somebody free, I'll try to get somebody over to get them before. But as long as we have them, before then.
Okay, that sounds great. And we have a flyer ready to go, and we should be doing a email blast for people to save the date soon. We're just trying to stagger our email blast because we've been sending a lot of them out. Then I wanted to let you guys know that Schenectady County Soil and Water Conservation and SCIAC, which is also Schenectady County Environmental Action Coalition, reached out to the Tree Council about planting on Upper Dean Street. They were able to secure a grant through National Grid's 10,000 Trees and Growing program, and they identified Dean Street as a county area that could benefit from more street trees. So the Tree Council took that project on. I think they are going to try and have the county highway work with us on that, but I did want to let you guys know that's something that we're working on. So planting trees at Upper Dean Street, and we'll be sending out a letter to residents in the next couple of weeks, introducing them to Schenectady County Soil and Water and the Tree Council.
That's great, Laura.
And also got a referral from Highway on 604, 605 Oregon Street. Tree Council is going out to look at the health of the tree. This one, the tree roots are supposedly entering the sewer laterals and causing backups into the homes. But I looked through the code again because I know that there's always a variety of reasons for people wanting to take street trees down, driveway damage or sewer lines. And our code is pretty clear that we should only be removing dead or diseased trees because it really becomes a gray area. Not that we ever want to create, a hardship on people, but I was looking at other towns and what they do in these situations, and I'm going to look a little bit more, but the Tree Council is basically just going to evaluate it for health at this point. And I'll get back to them on that. Always a tough one. For Complete Streets, we've been working with people on Wyoming. They're very excited about a demonstration project, and we're looking at doing one in the spring. So when we get more details on that, we'll coordinate it with you guys. But we're thinking Wyoming in the spring and Fieldstone Drive in the fall. They're completely different roads, completely different types of roads. And so we decided that the chicanes are a little bit too tight for the old Niskanen, but we're thinking maybe we could try something more like that on Fieldstone or a median. And then on Wyoming, we're thinking of looking at some things that we haven't tried before, like a speed table or something temporary that the highway guys could go out and look and see. They're really flat, elongated speed bumps. So we want to check that out. I don't know if you guys had any thoughts. The other thing that they're reviewing is on Wyoming and Grenaside are both yields. And so we're taking a look at traffic data with the police to see if it's a possibility that we could recommend stop signs there. Any questions on any of those? Oh, okay.
Laura,
Yeah.
on the street demonstration, just remember, I know, last time there was an experience, right? And you learned a lot from that. Obviously, we want to make sure that whatever the plan is run by, legal. And as I recall, the fire department had, an issue with one of the, with Regent Street, et cetera. So obviously make sure whatever you guys plan to do, that those things are run by all entities to get the sign off.
Yeah, lesson learned. Last year we did legal, police, and highway, but we did forget about fire. So we've got them on our list now. And I talked about this at the police and public safety meeting yesterday as well. And also, we're trying really hard to make sure that we're going to neighborhoods where everybody wants us to be. So Wyoming is great because we literally get emails from them like every day saying, please come. So
yeah, good.
So for the Notch Street improvement plan, hopefully you guys saw the email that went out. We email blasted residents with kind of the final draft of ideas that we had for improvements in that area. Even though Rosemary is talking all the time about how we need funding, that we don't have any right now. So we really just want consensus on what people would like to see there. The cost estimates were pretty darn high. I was hoping they would be lower. But we sent that out. The comment period, or where we really want to just kind of listen to people, is April 12th. People can email me, they can mail their stuff. I'm going to create like a binder of all the comments that we can use going forward in any designs that if we are able to find a way to get this to work, so that we can have a design that's already been vetted by the public and they feel good about, most of them feel good about. So we're looking forward to getting as much input as we can, and that's, again, April 12th at the planning board meeting, 7 p.m.
And you're making very clear, Laura. I read, the extensive, document, and then the more condensed one that was put out. Obviously, very important to make clear that we don't have funding for this. It's a shame the project that is in around Crescent Street that would add additional parking and address, clarity in terms of stops and traffic patterns, et cetera. I saw it was like either way, there were, two proposals. There were like $300,000, which is incredible. And obviously we don't have that money, and, it'd be lovely to be able to find some grant money at some point on that. But I'm sure you'll continue to emphasize the fact that at this point we don't have funding for it, right?
Right. But if you get a plan,
Laura, we can't hear you. You're breaking up.
Looking for funding as
What was
well.
that? Could you say that again? You were breaking up.
Oh. Yeah, sorry. You've been just looking for me to have public on a plan already. Like you can show public, that you asked it.
Sorry, we got a bad connection, Laura. We still couldn't hear you. Try one more time. Maybe talk a little slower. So if we miss words, we can still pick it up.
Okay. I'm just saying, even if we don't have the money, asking for money, makes a big difference if you can show that you have public support. It's the same thing that we say to residents, but it's also true when you're looking for money. If you can show the public comment and you can show that you've addressed it already, you've already taken a big piece of controversy out of any funding.
Gotcha. Good point. Yep. Understood.
So real.
Okay, you're breaking up again.
Is that
but
better?
Yeah, we got the part about the public comment being an important component in terms of applying for grant or any money. That's a good point. So thanks. River Road.
River
Sorry.
Road. No. Yeah. Do you want me to sign off and back on again? Maybe. No.
Sometimes you're really clear. Sometimes you're not. Sorry, Laura.
Okay. I'll just really quickly say that River Road site walkthrough was great. Thank you, Rosemary and Ray, for coming. That was great. Rivers Ledge Parkland Fund was decided. I met with the contractor yesterday. That's also looking really good. Aqueduct Park construction, the docks still haven't been delivered. It's really a sad story that I'm working on every day. And then Ray was really helpful. He's gonna work with our engineer to install a trench drain to help with some of the washout at Aqueduct Park. And then if you guys have any questions on any of that other stuff, let me know. If you can hear me, the one thing that I noticed when Elena was talking about the club agreements is that you still need to do the softball club agreement. That's not me. Somebody needs to do that.
No, I think it was done. You're talking about for the additional drainage that they paid for?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I believe that was done.
Oh, okay, great. Yay. Because Ray had a question that they wanted to put electric lines to their sheds, and we don't know like if that was covered in the softball agreement or if they can do that or not. It's really unclear.
I don't know the answer to that, but I do know that the additional the additional drainage that they wanted to pay for was incorporated into a revised agreement. I think Alexis took care of that right before she left, and we set the repayment terms. Remember we met about that, Ismad and Laura and Alexis and Yasmin, and I believe that we got that completed and we got it locked down before maybe in January, I want to say.
I don't have a fully executed copy, Rosemary.
Okay, I don't know where that is, but I thought it was done. You're right. I remember we got the terms down, but I'll follow up and see where that is because I thought we had resolved that issue.
Yeah, we did accept that. We did not get the agreement. Maybe Alexis was working on it.
Okay, I'll follow. I'll ask Elena or Paul. Yeah, do you know?
I'll find out.
Okay, all right, thanks.
Thank you, Paul. Can I ask one question about the grants, Laura? Do you foresee right now any of the grants going over the budget?
The River Road Park one, we discussed the budget when we were awarding the contract, and at the time we knew that there was going to be, I think, a change order required that was going to be within the town supervisor's authority, which is like $5,600 or something. So River Road Park has a $5,600 change order. But none of the other ones none of the other ones have had any change orders granted to them since the last time we talked.
Okay, because we are borrowing money from the fund balance. So I will add, how much was that? 8,000?
It's 5,600. You have the files, so you're welcome to open them up and take a look at it.
No, we will just add it to the $700,000 we are borrowing from the fund balance. So, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, just farmers market, quick update. As we've been reporting, we're scheduled to start in July, run a 15-week market, 15 consecutive Saturday mornings. The market committee's meeting regularly. There were some inquiries into, potentially offering, SNAP or other services that would provide benefits to low-income folks. I know Brian Backus is still working on getting socioeconomic data for Niskanen, and I don't think he has any updates on that. He's been good about responding when he does. I brought forward the issues to the town attorney's office and to our comptroller in terms of what would be necessary for SNAP payments. We've gone back to the committee and, just suggested that given all that's going on and we don't have the data points and the additional responsibilities, potential liability, we're not going to move forward with that. I don't believe, this year, at least that's where the supervisor and I are. And I had a conversation with Donna Evans who's been the coordinator, been the principal person on the SNAP issues. We are moving forward with a farmers market nutrition program, which it doesn't involve, there's some minimal involvement, but none on the town end, no liability for us. It's basically the farmers are certified under this FMNP program, and they are able to offer, coupons for folks who qualify, and that's strictly between the farmer and the participants. So it would be nice, obviously, to offer that. We're also talking about bringing in CDPHP or MVP to do some free health and wellness checks, again, to sort of tie in the health and wellness and some free nutritional offerings for folks. So continuing to work on that, but I think we've been getting checks and agreements already in, so it's lining up to be, again, a very successful market that is likely to bring in more revenue than expenses, which is always what we want to hear, but more importantly, offers a great opportunity for our community to get together in a time when, again, that continues to be difficult. And a lot of people are putting in a lot of time again, for our community, our highway folks, our police, setting up the signs, again, and that's just something that our folks are doing, our staff members continue to do for the benefit of our residents, and do that freely and gladly. And for that, we're really grateful, very fortunate. So that's the update on the farmers market. Yasmin, did you have anything else on that?
I don't, thank you.
All right, thank you. So we'll move on to recreation.
All right. We had our Easter Bunny drive-through last Friday. It was a fantastic event. We gave away almost 300 Easter eggs. Parents and children were ecstatic. The more I think about it, it just brings tears to my eyes because every person was just so thrilled that they were able to even participate at a slightly different format. And it was just wonderful. Julie was my bunny helper, and Councilwoman Jakewith and Councilman Delarada were there to help as well. It was just a wonderful day. I don't think I could be any happier. We had a beautiful balloon swag behind the bunny, and Lisa Stevens did that. It was a great day. So
the kids were so excited. Lori was the Easter bunny. She was adorable, but just the kids were so happy, and it was such a thrill just to be able to see the joy. I can see why you enjoy it so much. You guys did a great job, and it was lovely just to be there to observe it. It made my day to see those kids come by and see how happy they were. So
thank you for coming. It was a great day. Our summer program book and registration opened up on April 1st. We've had tons of registrations come through. It's going to be a wonderful season. Parents are thrilled that everything seems to be going back to semi-normal. And we have more offerings than we were able to last year. So I'm thrilled about that.
Lori, sorry, just to jump in here. We're still obviously, yes, things are opening up, but we're still following all required protocols.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely.
Making sure not only with our rec programs, but also those our youth sports organizations. We've asked them all to update their requirements, and we're making sure people understand that rules still need to be followed and precautions still need to be taken.
Exactly. Yep, exactly. Our summer concert series starts. We have 10 concerts this year, running from June 13th to August 12th. All concerts are on Thursday evenings from 7 to 8, except for the first one, which is a Sunday at 5:30, and that's the Bill Lawrence Trio. So we're happy to have Bill return back to Town Hall once again from his retirement to put on a concert. So we're thrilled. And last year, because our concerts were basically the only game in town, they were very well attended. And I think we're going to keep up the same attendance level, if not more, this year, because it's such a great event. So we're thrilled about that. Julie worked very hard to get all these concerts lined up. So kudos to Julie for that. Next is Niskanen Community Foundation grant applications. They're due on the 16th. Lisa Stevens has been working night and day on this, and we're submitting one for basketball rims and backboards for Flatnick Park, and also benches to accompany the soon-to-be bocce ball court over at the rec center. So she has to submit these by the 16th. We usually hear something back maybe early June, if not late May. So as soon as we hear something, I'll let everybody know. We've had great success in the past, so I'm hoping to continue that as well. And Julie, I'm going to have you speak on the Earth Day cleanup and the story walk at River Park, if you would.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. I was approached by a resident whose child is in the virtual academy at Glencliff, and he had his daughter at one of the parks several weeks back, and she noticed that I think they were at Central Park, and she noticed that they were watching some of the ducks in one of the streams. She noticed that there was a lot of garbage, and that the ducks were kind of swimming through the stream that was filled with garbage. And she asked if they could do something about it. They came back the next day with gloves and garbage bags, and they cleaned up that whole area. And so he reached out to me thinking that as a member of the Niskanen School District, they would like to contribute that kind of a service to one of our Niskanen parks. So we had been talking. They originally thought of River Road Park, but with softball starting up, there might have been some conflicts in terms of times. And he is looking to bring his daughter. He wanted to reach out to several kids in her second grade virtual academy who, again, being virtual, don't get to be in person and, see each other and socialize in any way. So he thought this would also be a nice outdoor event. And he wanted to get permission to use the facility, number one, and to do the cleanup, and then also to have access to the pavilion to invite the parents to stay, and he would provide a pizza lunch. So he's interested in doing this. We decided Flatnick Park would be a really good location because it is heavily used. He's looking to do this one of the weekends around Earth Day. So I believe that's in 2 weeks was his first choice. He thought if the weather didn't look cooperative, then he would push it back to the following weekend. But there's no reservations at the parks at this time because we don't open up until May 1st. And he's aware that, it's only going to be about a 2-hour event. So he is aware that there won't be restroom facilities. And so we just wanted to run this by the committee and make sure nobody had a problem if he brought, half a dozen kids and their families over to do some park cleanup.
Sounds great. Volunteer opportunity. You've talked to Ray about it. I mean, I think you're right about which park would be best. It sounded like.
Yeah, I actually hadn't reached out to Ray about this yet. But he said that he had looked around and that River Road and Flatnick were the two that he seemed to feel, had the most that they could do, that there seemed to be more loose trash and things like that. And he's willing to undertake this completely and take full responsibility. He's going to deal directly with the families. He's going to work on getting, the pizza. He obviously knows they'll definitely leave the park cleaner than when they left it. We don't have to worry about any garbage from the pizza lunch or anything like that. I think it sounded great. And I thought we should probably also reach out to the Gazette because, again, this would be just a great opportunity for some positive publicity, at one of our facilities.
That sounds great, Julie.
Then the other thing is, what was the other thing, Lori?
Story walk, just to update.
Walk, yes.
We've been doing that already. I've seen it. People have been enjoying that very much. So now they just want to continue with some new boards.
They absolutely do. And I actually did go over there. I had been wanting to get over there for so long, and it seemed like every time I made plans, the weather made other plans, and it just wasn't going to be a day I wanted to do it. But I finally had a really nice afternoon a couple weeks ago, and I went over to River Road with my husband. We did the walk, and I could see that if you had young children, it would really be a really cool thing to do. The books, the book pages look really great. I was going beyond just a spectator kind of thing. Like, I was looking at it from a perspective as like, are they staying in place? Are they still looking nice? You know, this was at the end of March. So it was the first book that they put up. It had been up for a whole month, and just the very minimal amount of like wear and tear. Like, you could see that it had been up for a month, but by no means was it looking trashy or anything like that. It still looked really good. The park was a little wet. There were a couple spots. I got my feet wet trying to cross over some of the larger puddles, but when, you know, everything just gets really nice and springy, and the trail dries up a lot, I think it's going to be a really neat event. I think it's something really cool that families will look forward to, you know, going over and checking out the new book each month. I think it's a great idea to let them do a new book every month through August. It really doesn't detract anything. It doesn't take anything away from us, and it doesn't require anything of us. So I think it's a really nice service that we can provide in conjunction with the public library, and kind of just kind of help promote each other's, you know, agendas. So
no, it's a great collaboration. All the things that you said, as we've been mentioning, people are looking for things to do.
Absolutely.
Outside, so it's a great community builder. So thanks for bringing.
Just out of curiosity, how are we communicating that out?
It was blasted out at one point in time. Back then, we thought they were doing one for March and April, and that was it. And that's all we advertised. But we would certainly send out another blast, and maybe even a monthly blast for the rest of the summer.
Oh, awesome. Cool.
It's really clever. It's very clever. You know, it's a great thing to do to, you know, get your kids outdoors doing something fun, and yet being able to read this book as you go through the path.
Yeah, it's really creative. Great idea.
Thanks, Julie. That'll be something fun for the kids at River Road Playground Camp.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
to take advantage of.
I will reach out to Becky Nyhard. She was the driving force between this that I've been working with. She, I don't think, is a library employee, but she just had this idea and worked with them, and then reached out to us. And so I will let her know that that we're going to give her the thumbs up for a new book every month through August.
That's great. Thank you.
Thank everybody.
Jump to the Eagle Scout project. Last Friday, Ray and I and Andrew met Luke Vandenberg, who is an Eagle Scout, who was working towards his patch over at Avon Crest, and he wanted to install a sand volleyball court. Ray was very good at showing him where the layout would be, and we'll be working with Luke, although Luke is doing 99% of the work and sourcing materials. So in hopes of him starting this in May and having it up and going by the time our pavilion rentals get ramping up, and also for our playground program. Luke was one of our counselors over there, and that's why that was the first park that came to mind for him. So he has a little special interest in this park, and was thrilled to be able to go over there and get working on this. So we're thrilled with that. As far as the calendar for the parks, we were trying to work on a shared calendar that's right on our main website. So everyone can glance at it before they say go to Flatnick to find out what events are going on. Are the basketball courts open, or are there tennis lessons? Seth and I have been working on it. We think we may have come up with a plan, so we're hoping to have it up and running by next month. I've been inputting all of the events that I have, at least for the parks and my programs. And now we'll just add in the AAU hoops, basketball, anything else that we have going on to try to give a bigger picture as to what's going on in our parks. So Seth has been very helpful with that. Next is, and I forgot to add this earlier, that our driving range opens up on this opens up Saturday the 24th. It's open daily from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. except for on Monday evenings they close at 6:30 to do a group ball pick before Tuesday when the range is mowed. So this is all weather permitting, and as soon as we have a definite date, it will be blasted. But we're hoping to have another great season up there at the driving range. It really got a lot of use last year, and Ray and his crew do a beautiful job keeping it maintained. So it's another highlight to our season. And for sponsorship ad revenue initiative, we've been working on this diligently. Lisa has put a beautiful book together. We just want to get final approval to make sure it's good to go by you, Rosemary and Elena. And then we're going to start sending out letters for sponsorship banners or advertising banners.
You guys did a great job on this. And again, we've talked about this as an additional revenue stream, much needed. Very grateful for all the work you guys have put in on this. I raised the issues that I raised already, so it's really with legal. If Elena signs off, let's just get a sign off from her, and then you can go.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And my last thing is resolutions for April. I will have driving range employees and also the independent contractors for our summer programs, because one of the early ones starts at the very end of April. As far as the summer staff and the pool staff and everything else, I'm going to wait until the following month. I prefer to have a complete list instead of just people added in bits and pieces every month. So this will just be a shorter list, and the bigger list will follow next month. And that's all I have.
All right. Thanks, Lori. Linda.
Good morning. I'll try and keep this brief. We reopened on the 16th, so we've been open for about 3 weeks. We've seen 75 people come through our doors on site, so it's over the course of 6 program days. Exercise classes are transitioning to hybrid, so some have the opportunity of coming in and doing it on site. It's a limited number, and or they can keep doing their Zoom, whatever they prefer. We have 65 members who participate in all. Our most popular classes are the Zumba and the chair Pilates. Lori and Mary, they get like, Lori gets 22 people in her class and Mary gets 17. The people love them. MVP has said, we were talking to them, we work with them about support for these exercise classes, and they said we're the only place totally ready for in-house classes. So big thank you for the UVC lights. And, believe it or not, that facility over there, the fans, the windows, the cross ventilation, the ability to space out, it really has come in very handy, and it works. Our lunch partnership with Gershon, we have done 1,600 lunches to date, with over 700 of them in March alone. That does not include the CDPHP free lunches. In February and March, we did 100 lunches every Monday for 9 weeks total. So that was another 900 lunches on top of that. So it's been busy. And people are appreciative, very appreciative. So we had some calls and some concerns about, what are you going to do? Like, is Gershon's going to go away? And we're like, no, we're still doing it. We thought we might have to suspend the drive-through when we opened up the program and had people on site, but we've actually figured out a way to do that. And Vito is on board and he owns it. And so we're continuing to offer that option. So they can eat in, they can take out, or they can drive through. We're in contact with, so just for the Gershon's portion, we're in contact with almost 140 seniors in our community, just for the lunches. there's another 70 who throughout the pandemic are more homebound seniors, and will do deliveries and send activities, bags and so on and so forth to them. And then we have almost 2,000 people that we touch through the email blasts and announcements. So there's a lot of people getting our information and who know what we're doing. So, and the papers have been really great. They've been really eager to hear, what we have going and keep the information coming. And so nice cooperation with them. We're actually beginning to plan our first trip. We were thinking maybe once we get out into May, we might run the bus out to Cooperstown. And this, what we're thinking with this is that we would give people the opportunity to visit where they want to go. So obviously the bus is going to be at 50% capacity. So it limits the numbers, but it's a nice way to start. Cooperstown isn't that far away. We thought we'd do a drop off at the Fenimore Museum, the Farmers Museum, the Hall of Fame, or if people just want to walk around town to shop or do lunch or what have you. So we're just going to keep it loose, and people can go where they want, and we'll get them there and we'll get them home. And that's about it. So
that's great.
That's
nice work. It's, the amount of contact that you guys have had over the past year and a half with our seniors has been just amazing. You've been a lifeline for them, and, with respect to the vaccine and just, that human contact has been so important. So can't stress that enough, how much, is appreciated, because it's your jobs, but you guys go above and beyond. It's been something.
Thanks for the support. Because the people, they're hearing it and they're seeing it, and they appreciate it right back. So thank you.
It's wonderful that you've been able to do all you've been able to do. So thank you so much. Does anybody have anything else? Supervisor, did you have anything?
I don't, but thank you.
Thanks.
I do have something to add that I forgot about. Brian Backus has been receiving a couple of phone calls, more or less from one person, complaining or questioning about the volleyball camps that we have had in the past at Avon, Crest. She thought they were loud, parking, a number of complaints she had. This year, we will not be holding a volleyball camp, so I just wanted to let everybody know, and probably will discourage one being held there in the future, just so we can avoid any conflicts with the residents that border that park. She seemed to think that it was too much and it was interfering with her green space. And so I just wanted everyone to know that that will not be an issue going forward.
We will be having soccer there, though. There'll be some soccer games played there, and it is a town park.
I know.
Yeah.
Can I just interrupt? Is it the volleyball camp, or is it when they have volleyball tournaments?
The volleyball camp, and the tournaments may be another one of the problems. So did someone?
Because we always used to get complaints about the tournaments, but I didn't think we had any in the last 2 summers.
Tournaments?
The tournaments. I think we had kind of pushed them over to River Road.
Well, we didn't even have a camp last year, so I don't know.
We didn't have volleyball last year.
Where this is coming from, but
yeah. If she reaches out again, we should definitely get a specific date and time, and just try to figure out are people just going over there and holding sort of these pop-up tournaments, or
I think she told Brian she was being proactive, so she was kind of getting ahead of it. I wanted to make sure that wouldn't be an issue, but
because I didn't think the camps had too many people. The camps, judging from that volleyball camp program, looking at the numbers, I can't imagine somebody would complain about that. Those numbers did not look very high.
No.
So I'd be more likely to think it was a tournament going on.
Right.
Well, again, the point is, it's of course we want people to enjoy our parks, and it is our parks, and we're going to have folks there playing soccer. So Brian, you might get some more calls. Tuesdays and Thursday evenings, they're running some soccer there. That's the Firestorm agreement that we are going to be moving for approval at the town board meeting this month. So
plus softball.
Yes,
Is softball over there?
yeah, softball will be doing some work on there, and I'll be forwarding some information on that, some additional work that the club is doing over there. But yeah, I mean, these spaces are for folks to use.
Right. We just wanted you to be aware that there have been complaints and that it was out there.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you, Lori. All right. Anything else, folks? All right. Thank you all for your time, and have a great day. Thanks for all you do. Keep it up. Great work. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Have a great day.